Okay, so pre-conventional stage. That is point one, stage one. Under this, like I have already explained before, these stages are divided. There's three stages: pre-conventional stage, conventional stage, and post-conventional stage. Under each point, it is divided into three levels. Okay, so now we are going to start about talk about the pre-conventional stage. Under this, stage one, that is obedience and punishment orientation. Here, moral decisions are based on fear. Okay, FEAR, fear of punishment and obedience to authority. That means here, right and wrong are determined by external forces only. All right. And the stage two, that is individualism and exchange. Individualism and exchange. Here, moral decisions are based on personal interest and reciprocity. Reciprocity. Okay. So, what is the meaning of reciprocity? Can anyone answer? Meaning of reciprocity. Reciprocity. Okay. So I want every one of you to be very interactive. Reciprocity here, it refers to the practice of exchanging things with others for mutual benefits. All right. Such as you can say giving and receiving. So exchanging resources, services, or favors. All right. And another thing we can say, mutual exchange. Here, trading something of value for something else, or something else of value. Okay. So when we talk about that, the reciprocity can be direct, indirect, and social. So direct means immediate exchange between two parties. Indirect could mean exchange through the third party or delayed response. But here, the words in various contexts, this reciprocity can mean in different ways. But why I'm emphasizing so much here tonight is that because according to Lawrence, the word reciprocity is quite another. It has different meaning. So in Lawrence Colbert's moral development theory, here reciprocity, it means is a key concept in stage two. So individualism and exchange, where individuals prioritize mutual benefit and exchange in their moral decision making. All right. Am I audible, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Under this individualism and exchange, right and wrong are determined by individual needs and desires. All right. So coming back to the second point, that is conventional stage. Conventional stage. Okay. Conventional stage here. Let's say stage three. Now, stage three. Point level two, stage three, that is conventional, 3 to 4 years. Stage three could be like good interpersonal relationships. Here, moral decisions are based on social norms and relationships. And right and wrong are determined by social expectations and approval. So now you might be a little bit confused when I explain about this, but when I compare and contrast with Maria Montessori's concept or method, you will get it. Okay. So, but please note it down. If you have any confusion, we will try to make it clear, and I will try to explain it very short tonight so that we can have an interaction session. Here, stage 4, under the conventional stage, stage 4, that is maintaining social order. Here, oral decisions are based on societal laws and norms. So, right and wrong are determined by the need to maintain social order. All right. And another level, that is post-conventional stage, that is a 5 to 6 years. Here, stage 5. Under post-conventional stage, it comes under stage 5 and 6. Here, social contract and individual rights, that is stage 5. Excuse me. Social Stage 5 is social contract and individual rights. That is a stage 5. Here, moral decisions, okay? Moral decisions are based on social contracts and individual rights. And the right and the wrong are determined by the need to balance individuals' right with social responsibilities. And the stage 6 under post-conventional, here moral decisions are based on universal principles and values. Right and wrong are determined by application of universal principles to specific situations. So here, some of the key aspects of this Lawrence theory is progression. Here, individuals progress through stages in a sequential manner. All right. And another point is universal. So here the stages are universal and apply to individuals across cultures and societies. All right. And here, Laurel's theory of moral development, we can say that, excuse me. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. Here, Kolber's theory has been influential in understanding moral development, but it has also faced criticism. You know, even Maria Montessori, her method, we find it that it is perfect, and majority of the world has accepted her theory, her method of education. But no doubt there are also so many drawbacks in it, right? So in the same way, this Lawrence theory of moral development, that there are also so many drawbacks. It has also faced criticisms and challenges, such as like cultural bias. Here, the theory may reflect Western culture values, and some people may consider that not be applicable to non-Western cultures, right? And we can also say that gender bias, particularly in India, the theory may not account for gender differences in moral reasoning, because even nowadays we can say that how we view the society for gender equality, we cannot see in every sphere. We can say that, of course, there is a saying that gender equality, so on and so forth, but in particularly in rural parts of India, we can still see that there is no gender equality, where women is still considered as weak and incapable. But with the education, we can see that it has been overcoming, but still there are a lot of women who has been suffering because of this gender inequalities. Here, another point is oversimplification. So the theory may oversimplify the complexity of moral development. So despite despite these limitations, Lawrence's theory, it remains important, or it remains significant contributions. It remains significant contributions to the field of moral development, and and continues to influence research and education. So this is all about Lawrence Kolber's moral development theory. Slowly now we will be discussing about okay, now we will be discussing about the similarities with Montessori method. There are so many, I would say there are so many points similarities with this Montessori method of education. So before that, I just want to let you know the meaning of moral according to Lawrence Kolber. Okay, moral. So that we will have a clear cut about similarities and with Montessori method, because particularly we will be somehow emphasizing here the moral, because the main part dealing is moral, and their similarities here. According to Lawrence Kolber, morality, it refers to the principles and values that guide an individual's behavior, all right, and decision making, particularly in situations involving right and wrong, justice, and the well-being of others. All right, so here he defined moral development as the process of maturing in one's ability, let's keep it in that way, to think about resolve moral dilemmas. Okay, so dilemmas, what is mean by dilemmas here? Dilemmas means it is a situation in which a person is faced with two or more conflicting options or values, all right, making it difficult for us to decide what to do. So sometimes dilemma often involved, conflicting values, unclear consequences, difficult trade-offs, or moral or ethical implications. All right. So dilemmas can also be mean like moral dilemmas, ethical dilemmas, or personal dilemmas. Okay. Here, dilemmas require a careful consideration, weighing of options, and often at difficult decisions. I will not be explaining much about that because you know better than me. Here, Lawrence, according to Lawrence, so he defined moral development as the process of, like I've said, maturing in one's ability to think about resolve the moral dilemmas. Okay, so I hope you understand the meaning of dilemmas now. Here, Lawrence's concept of morality, it encompasses justice, which means fairness, equality, and the protection of individuals' rights. Okay, and another point is care. Here, C-A-R-E, care. So compassion, empathy, and concern for the well-being of others. And another point is responsibility, which means taking ownership of one's action and their consequences. All right. So Lawrence's moral stages here particularly foster or focus on development of moral reasoning, emphasizing the importance of autonomy, universality, and reversibility. All right. So by this, like autonomy, let me a little bit elaborate this. Autonomy, it means like making decisions, okay, based on internal principles rather than external authorities. Okay, here by this definitions, morality is not just about following rules and norms, but about developing a thoughtful, principled, and empathetic approach to ethical decision making. All right. Okay, so now we will be studying about similarities with Montessori method. Coming to the most important part. Before I explain about this, if you have any questions, you may please take your time. Anyone, you may use the chat box or you may please speak out.
Ma'am, ma'am, hello, ma'am. Can I ask about the first part?
Okay, am I audible?
Ma'am, you're audible now. Ma'am, can I ask regarding the first part?
Okay, sure. Which
Mm.
portion?
Ma'am, I'm a little bit confused because regarding the conventional stages, there are, I remember from 4, 5, 6, but 1, 2, 3, I forgot to note it
Okay,
down. So can you please repeat for me?
sure. All right. Level 1, that is, okay, let me come back here. Okay, you want me to explain this portion, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Lawrence Culbert's moral development. Your stage 1, that is obedience and punishment orientation. Okay,
Yeah.
under this, under pre-conventional stage, that is obedience and punishment orientation. That means point 1 and 2, it comes under pre-conventional stage. And number
Okay.
2 is individualism and exchange. Here, moral decisions are, considered or are particularly based on fear of punishment and obedience of authority. Okay, that is pre-conventional stage. And then another point under pre-conventional stage, stage 2, that is individualism and exchange. Here also moral, deciding what is right and wrong, moral decisions are based on personal interest and and reciprocity. Okay, so like I have already explained about the reciprocity, the meaning. If I do need to explain again, you please let me know. And point 2, that is conventional stage. Under this point 3, stage 3 and stage 4, it comes. And the point number 3 under level 2, that is good interpersonal relationships. And stage 4, that is maintaining social order. That is stage 4. And post-conventional stage, under this social contract and individual rights, it comes under level 3, stage 5. Social contract and individual rights. And stage 6, universal principles. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, it's
I
clear.
do need to explain again in details. Anyway, we will take the whole class again, no problem.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, anyone? Okay, if you have no question, we will start with similarities with Montessori method. Here, Lawrence moral development theory point 1, that is focus on individual development. Focus on individual development. Under it, let me elaborate a little bit, because we may take another class for this. Here, for point number 1, that is a focus on individual development. Lawrence moral development theory and Montessori method, shared so many similarities in their focus on individual development. Under this focus on individual development, there are, so many points, but I will be focusing on around 5 points only. Okay. If you have any doubt, you may ask. Under this focus on individual development, why I'm not explaining it all in details, because in my previous class also we have been discussing about this, and particularly those who are taking for uh, those who have asked for extra classes, I have been perpetually explaining about this. But if you have any doubt, you may please let me know. I'm going in brief because we have already explained about this. Somehow we have already touched. So under this, self-directed learning. Here, focus on individual development under this self-directed learning. Point 1. Both Lawrence and Montessori, both of them emphasize the importance of self-directed learning and exploration on the children. Okay, so in Montessori classrooms, children are encouraged to explore materials. Like, what are the materials? Can anyone tell me what are the materials? Like, we have already talked about apparatus, and even our sir, he has been taking up that. Right. So materials I want you to keep in mind, and let me know later if time permits. Here, Colbert and Montessori, both of them, they emphasize the importance on self-directed learning and exploration. So in Montessori classrooms, children are expected, or children are encouraged to explore materials and learn at their own pace, instead of forcing them or letting them do like in the traditional system of education. But here, both Montessori and Lawrence, they encouraged to work with children at their own pace. Okay, while Colbert's theory focuses on individuals developing their own moral principles through reflection and experience. All right. And another point under point 1, that is individualized instruction. Here, Montessori teachers, that is you and me, under this, observe and support each child's unique learning style, okay, and pace their, and pace similar of how Lawrence recognizes that individuals progress through moral stages at their own rate. All right. And hands-on experience. Here, Montessori materials and activities provide hands-on experiences that encourage learning. And at the same time, Colbert also emphasizes on moral development through real life experiences and social interactions. All right. Here, mixed age group, both of them, they also emphasize here, but since we have already explained about it, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I'll not be touching that now. Respect for the child. Both Montessori and Lawrence, they emphasize treating children with respect and dignity, recognizing their autonomy and individuality. Okay. And another point is focus on inner motivation. Here, Montessori encourages inner motivation and self-discipline. All right. Aligning with Lawrence focus on